figured it out, and I faked a pass to go to Austria. I went to Linz in Austria, which is on the Danube, and the Danube was the dividing line then in Austria between the Soviet zone and the American zone. Austria was still divided in 55. So I went to Linz. I got there at 11 at night looking for the Danube, but I didn't dare ask anybody. So I wandered around looking for the Danube. I couldn't find it. Finally, I fell asleep in a little park. And when I woke up, it was already light, and my pass was already outdated. So now I had to move. So I went and I found the Danube. I didn't find it. I'd always hoped maybe there'll be a little paddleboat or something. There was nothing. So I got into the water, threw away my shoes, I threw away my jacket. I tore on my shirt, I tore the whole shirt and swam across the Danube. Coming across, almost expecting to see Soviet soldiers there, if not with tanks and there was nobody. It was a sunny Sunday morning in August and there was nobody. So it took me for a while before I was picked up by the police and said I don't speak German, which was no longer true. I want to see the Soviets. I didn't trust the Austrians, which was very clever of me, correct? They took me to the Soviets. I'll say it briefly. The Soviets drove me to their headquarters, which is near Vienna. Kept me in a cell for 2 weeks. Not very nice, but the first day they were kind of curious, but then they were friendly, but there was always a guard in front of the door of this cell, and they excused themselves until they could find out what to do with me. And then after 2 weeks, first of all, they brought me a complete set of clothes, including, as the officer said, for you, a red tie. and new shoes. By the way, I was used in New York, when you buy shoes, they have one of these, these things where you move it to fit your. The Soviet guy, he took a pencil and a piece of paper, and I said, "Can you get shoes that way too?" But he did, and they worked. And they drove me up. I didn't know where they'd take me. I didn't want to go to the GDR particularly.
Where did you want to go?
Why?
Where did you
I
want to go?
thought either of the Soviet Union or maybe Czechoslovakia, because I had been there to the first World Youth Festival as a student in 1947. So that I had learned a little Czech, even about 100 words of Czech, and it was very nice of them. So I thought maybe, but they didn't ask me. They drove me along the Elbe to the border there. And at the border, another car picked me up, took me to Potsdam. In Potsdam, they had a section which was a Soviet section, and a house in there. I was taken to that house. Very, very, this time not a cell, but a very nice room, a very fancy room, but milk glass, you couldn't look out, and I was completely incommunicado, and in pajamas and in bathrobe, by the way, but for 2 months. And then I was sent, and that's when I told, a Soviet guy came about once a week and chatted with me about all kinds of things. Among others, I said, to protect my family, perhaps I should change my name. He said, okay, think of one.
Spoiler alert, his name isn't Victor Grossman.
I couldn't think of one. My name was Steve Wexler, actually. I couldn't think of a name. He came back the next week when he visited, he said, did you think of a name? I still hadn't. By the third time he came, now, don't you have a name yet? I didn't. He said, well, how about Victor Grossman? I didn't like it one bit. the Grossman in my class had been the class clown. And Victor I didn't like either. But I hadn't thought of one of my own. And not only that, in a way I could have called myself Murphy or Johnson. But I didn't want to completely break my roots to Jewish roots. Grossman is a name which is both German and Jewish. I didn't want to completely break this, so I said okay, not realizing that I'd be that the rest of my life, except when I go to the States, with relatives, old friends, and so forth. I'm Steve again.
Yeah, and then.